Hi everyone, it's Christine here from christinestampinspot.blogspot.com, and today we are going to do some two-step stamping with the brand new Baby Bear stamp set from Stampin' Up. Look how adorable this stamp set is, and wait until you see the finished product. This is the card that we're going to be making. Isn't that bear adorable? I am so in love with this stamp set. It is so cute. Now I made this a baby card because a friend of ours just had a baby girl, but as you can see from the sentiments here, and then any other sentiment, quite frankly, that Stampin' Up carries, you could make this a thank you card, love you very much. The possibilities are endless, so you don't have to make this a baby card, so keep that in mind. So if you would like to make the card like I did, these are the ink colors that I used. I used Crumb Cake, I used Soft Suede, and I used Early Espresso for the bear, and then I used Blushing Bride and Melon Mambo for the bow, and then Melon Mambo for the sentiment. Also, I used some Blushing Bride ribbon, and I ran this piece of white Whisper White cardstock through the Big Shot using the large circle embossing folder. I just thought that gave it some really nice texture. And then, of course, I used the Blushing Bride glimmer paper on the bottom. So it's a very simple layout because I really wanted to focus on the two-step, three-step, in this case, stamping, and teach you how to make this cute little bear. So let's go ahead and get started. I've already pre-cut all of the cardstock that we're going to need to save us some time for the video. So let me go ahead and bring that over here. This is the piece of Whisper White cardstock, which is what I'm going to use to stamp the bear image on. And let me bring the stamp set back over here and just show you something really cool that Stampin' Up! Does. So you'll notice when you get the stamp set that there are numbers by the bear images. For example, this has a number 1 by it. And then on the other half of the stamp set, this bear has a number 2, and then this bear has a number 3. And that's awesome because that is telling you the order in which to stamp the images. You'll also notice the same on the bow. This bow image right here has a number 1, and then this bow image right here has the number 2. And to do this, you're going to go lightest to darkest. So your number 1 image is going to be your lightest brown color, and then your second lightest brown color will be this one, and then your darkest will be number 3. So that's how that's going to work. Let's go ahead and get started with the stamping. So again, you're going to go lightest to darkest. So we're going to start with our lightest color, which is Crumb Cake. And we are going to do this main bear image first. Sometimes if the images are a little bit bigger than your stamp pad, I find it easier to take the ink to the image. So that's why I'm doing it this way. It's really personal preference. It doesn't really matter for purposes of getting the stamp all inked up. Do it whichever way is comfortable for you. And then I'm going to center this on my piece of Whisper White cardstock, and then get it nice and centered here and stamped down. Now when you're using photopolymer, which are the clear see-through stamps that Stampin' Up! Carries, you want to make sure you press hard, and you want to make sure you have something, a little bit of padding underneath your workstation. I have under mine the Stampin' Up! Piercing mat, which is $5. It's in the back of the catalog, but you could use a mouse pad. You could even use your actual annual catalog. You just need something with a little bit of extra padding. So, and then you want to push down really hard and make sure that you've pushed evenly around the stamp, but don't rock it. Just push straight down. Now we're going to bring this up, and there's your bear image, the first part. Okay, so because I have to reuse this block, I'm going to go ahead and bring over my Stampin' Scrub really quick. Let me get this out of the way really quick. This is our Stampin' Scrub that we carry, and if you don't have this, I highly recommend it. One side is for wet, one side is for dry. You take your Stampin' Mist, a little goes a long way. Just give it 1 or 2 squirts, close the lid on that, and then take your stamp and you scrub it on the wet side to get it nice and clean, and then you dry it on the dry side. So that's just a little tip. I definitely recommend a Stampin' Scrub if you don't already have one. They are genius invention. Okay, so now I'm going to peel this image off my block here. Okay, and then I'm going to pull back over my stamp set, and we are going to pull out image number 2. And image number 2 is again going to be our next darkest color. So in this case, it's going to be Soft Suede is what I decided to do. So I'm just going to center this on the block here, bring my piece of cardstock that I just stamped on back over, and you'll notice here there's some, like, let me pull this up. there's some little fuzzies. That's intentional. Don't think that your stamp's not working properly. That's just the way that the stamp set is designed. It's supposed to look like an old kind of fluffy teddy bear. Okay, so let me bring this over. And again, I'm just going to take the ink to the image this way. Okay. Now what you want to do is pull this back over, and you want to just line this up right over top of where you just stamped, and then stamp it down. Now I have a camera in my way, but I promise this is very easy. So if I don't do it perfectly, just know it's because the camera's in my way and not because this is difficult, because it's really, really not. Okay. Press down, straight down, and lift it up. There we go. Okay. And that bear is coming along, isn't it? How adorable is this starting to look? And then our final step is to, let me just clean this off really quick. I'm not going to bring the Stampin' Scrub back over since I just showed you that. I'm just going to peel this off and bring the stamp set back over one last time and pull off image number 3, which is our last image. And that's going to be in our darkest color. And the way that I designed this, that will be Early Espresso. So let me bring my Early Espresso ink pad over, open it up here, and again I'm going to take the ink to the stamp just because it's a little bit of a larger stamp. So I'm just going to tap it. You don't need to press super hard because the ink pads are raised. They're the foam pads and they are awesome, by the way. Okay, and then this is the last step, and you're just going to put this again layered up right over where you just stamped again and press down. Okay, and how adorable is that? Isn't that cute? With this two-step stamping that Stampin' Up! Does, I really feel like an artist at the end of it. It's just so wonderful, and I just love it. I feel so creative and artistic when I use these stamps, and really, the stamps are doing all the work. I'm not really that creative. I'm just using the stamps. They are truly that wonderful. So now let's do the bow really quick. For the bow, we are going to use Blushing Bride and Melon Mambo. And again, I showed you, I'm not going to pull the stamp set back over, because I showed you already that they are numbered 1 and 2. So this is number 1, which you're going to stamp first. And again, you're going to go lightest to darkest. So I'm going to open up my Blushing Bride, ink this up, and this is just a scratch piece of Whisper White cardstock. I'm just going to stamp that down and pull it back up. There you go. That's step 1. So we can close up our Blushing Bride. And now I'm going to open up the Melon Mambo for the second and final part of the bow. And this is image number 2. Going to ink this up. And I'm going to stamp it right over top of where we just stamped. There we go. Cute. Super, super cute. So as you can see in my sample, let me bring my sample back over. I cut it out and I popped the little bow up on a dimensional to give it some added dimension. So to save time, so you didn't have to see me fussy cutting that on camera, I already went ahead and cut one out for us. So let me go ahead and pull my dimensionals over. And what you want to do is take a dimensional off your pack and cut it in half. This way the dimensional won't show through and it'll be hidden, so you won't be able to see it. Okay, and we're just going to stick this under the bear's cute little chin here, just like that. Super, super cute. Okay, so now we're going to set this aside and we're just going to really quickly put this card together. Let me pull my other half off the scissors here, and I always save all my dimensionals. So let me pull the rest of the supplies over quickly here. Okay, so again, this is thick Whisper White cardstock that I used as my base. But first, what I'm going to do is take my adhesive, and I'm just going to put this piece of regular Whisper White that I've run through the embossing folder, or through the Big Shot rather, with the big circle embossing folder, and I'm just going to adhere it to the Blushing Bride cardstock. So let me take my adhesive and do that quickly here for us. And just center this down and stick that down. And this white piece of paper right here that I ran through the embossing folder, the Big Shot with the embossing folder, is cut at 3 3/4 by 5. And then the Blushing Bride cardstock underneath it is 1/4 of an inch bigger. And then this, which is the Blushing Bride glimmer paper, is 2 inches by 5 inches. So I'm just going to put my adhesive on the back of that and go ahead and adhere that down to the very bottom, flush with the bottom of the white, Whisper White cardstock here. So just flush against the bottom. Okay, now I've already pre-cut some of the Blushing Bride ribbon, and I can't remember what this is called. I'll have it on my blog for you, linked to my store if you're interested, but it is gorgeous ribbon and so fun to work with. So a little cheater method here, as I stuck some adhesive on either side of the back, and then I'm just going to take this, stick it to the back here, and then bring it around the front, and then turn it back over and stick it to the back. That way you don't have to use more ribbon to wind it all the way around. And then I'm just going to take some more adhesive here and put it on the back of this and stick this panel onto our cardstock. I just got a little bit of tape here, so let me just fix this really quick here. Bear with me. Okay, there we go. And we just stick this, center it very nicely onto our card base. And this card base measures, it's a normal A4 size card base, so it's 5.5 by 4 1/4. And you score it at 4 1/4. And that's your card base. It's super, super simple. Now, I already took the liberty of tying a bow, so you didn't have to watch me fumble with that on camera. So, and I just put some tear and tape on the back there. So I'm just going to stick that down. And then we're going to take our cute little bear that we created. And these little, I apologize, these little ink marks here were from my fingers. I got a little bit of ink on my fingers and messed it up just a little bit, but that's okay. I really just wanted to show you the concept of how to use these adorable stamps. So don't think that those little marks come from the stamps. That's just me being a messy stamper, okay? So don't worry about that. So this panel, I just cut 1/8 of an inch on each side, bigger than my little bear image panel. We're going to stick that down and then turn it back over. And we're going to take our dimensionals here and we are going to pop this whole panel up with our dimensionals. I think I used 5 here. And dimensionals are a fabulous invention and so incredibly cheap. You get a really good value from Stampin' Up's dimensionals. I cannot recommend them enough. I really can't. They are just wonderful. So we're going to stick this down kind of a little bit to the left of the bow. Stick that down right there. Okay. Cute, cute, cute. Look how adorable that is. So the last part of this card is just the sentiment. And again, you don't have to make it a baby card. I'm going to, because that's what my sample looked like. So I'm just going to bring the sentiment over. And it's just hello baby. And it's from the same stamp set as the teddy bear. I'm going to open back up my Melon Mambo ink. I already cut my little panel here for the sentiment. I'm going to ink the sentiment up in the Melon Mambo. And I'm just going to center it here on this little panel that I already pre-cut. And I'm going to do the best I can with this camera in my way here and just stamp it right down. There we go. Perfect. And if you hear that screaming, that is my infant. I am so sorry. His daddy is taking care of him, but he's a little bit fussy tonight. Okay, so closing up the Melon Mambo ink here, and the last step is to simply turn this over, put some adhesive on the back, and stick that down onto the Blushing Bride, which I did cut 1/8 of an inch bigger than the sentiment panel. And then you'll just simply stick this right here. Now, a little bit of a tip. I want to pop it up on some dimensionals, and I used 3 dimensionals on the right side here. So I just wanted some extra pop here. So let me just stick these down. They're fighting with me just a little bit here. Okay. There we go. And the reason why I'm doing this is because the other side is going to be a little bit up on this panel right here in the bottom right corner. And so it takes more dimensionals on the right side to counterbalance the left. And you'll see what I mean in a minute. That probably makes no sense, but hopefully it will make sense in just a minute. So we're just going to put one on the left side. And then one more tip, you want to use, anytime you're adhering anything to the glimmer paper, you want to take out your glue dot and stick that on the dimensional. And only this side is going to be on the glimmer paper. So I'm just going to put a dimensional on, not a dimensional, I'm sorry, a glue dot on the back of the dimensional, and that's going to make sure that it sticks to that glimmer paper perfectly. So there we have it. Let me pull it over just a little bit because I want it on this panel right here. Okay, there you go. So I hope that you enjoyed this little tutorial on how to do, in this case, 3-step stamping, since it was 3 steps to create that cute little bear, 2 steps to create the bow, and here is the original that I made for this tutorial. So I really hope that this is helpful. I hope that you love this stamp set as much as I do. If you have any questions, feel free to stop by my blog. I will have my blog address in the description box of this video, and I will also have a link where you can order anytime 24/7 if you'd like to order this adorable stamp set. Thank you so much for stopping by, and thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Bye-bye.